hereby given a workshop of the Board of Directors of the district to be held at 105 Fork Road, Port Isabel, Texas on the 20th day of September 2014 at the ungodly hour of 9 o'clock in the morning for consideration of business of the agenda below. This notice was posted at the office of the district on September 16th, 2014 at 1-something p.m. in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code 551-041, 551-050, and a copy furnished to the county clerk at Cameron County, Texas. Call meeting to order. Stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 3, consider and discuss the district's budget for fiscal year 2014.
Yes, sir, Mr. Vice Chairman, members of the board, thank you for being here early this morning. And we have staff here with us to just do some budget items here. So if we go to the first page, number 1, if you go directly to operation and expense page. No, that's fine. And you can see there.
Oh, you want to
You can sit over here right next to me here.
Okay.
Well, it's just the don't have page number, but this one here.
Page 5.
Should be number.
Page 5. Page number. Or this one. Let's see it.
Yeah,
This one does.
yeah.
The revenue. Revenue under revenues. And that's the budget we'll be working out of for it is page 5. Thank you, Danny. Okay. And you can see the packet was made by Glenn here, and it's a pretty nice packet, and probably be understandable to everybody here. But we're going to be running off of a 8.042821 budget. We go to the operation expenses, page 6, and we start with the water treatment plant. So water treatment plant will be having a budget of 1.402931, 1,000,000.4. And towards the very end, we have the capital outlay items that are at the water plant number 1, which is page 17. You're going to have to refer, I thought this one was going to be right behind it, but it's anyhow, the capital outlay for water plant, it's a $40,000 budget for over 5,000, which is 2 new pumps. And then capital outlay under $5,000, between 500 and 5,000, 10,500. And the same for, if you stay on page 17, we'll go through all the capital items there. For lift station, they have replacement pumps. The lift stations 21 and lift station 7 at $40,000. Capital outlay budget for over 5,000. And then between 500 and 5,000, a fan for lift station shop equipment, which is 7,500 budget. We go to the distribution capital outlay, over 5,000 is a gooseneck trailer for $10,000. Then we go to the capital outlay below 5,000, between 500 and 5,000, two shop saws at $7,000. We keep going to the collection, and they have a jetter truck, and it's over 5,000 capital outlay, that's $125,000. Administration, over 5,000, a generator for the main office at $40,000. And then capital outlay between 500 and 5,000, a scanner for mapping department at $6,000. And I believe there's two parts for that one because it's between 500 and 5,000. Then the wastewater plant capital outlay, new pumps for Andy Bowie sewer treatment plant, upgrading the chlorinators at Port Isabel, STP, and Laguna Vista at $55,000. Capital outlay for the same department, wastewater, a hoist for Andy Bowie, STP, and chlorine scales for Isla Blanca, STP at $6,000. In the finance department, capital outlay over 5,000 is office equipment and a truck at $28,000, which is just a truck, not office, right? Or what, or is it included in the?
And that truck, it was already approved, but they're gonna have it until November.
That's the van that we approved last budget, but it's not gonna come until November, so we have to move money over.
Okay, capital outlay at 500, between 500 and 5,000, computer upgrades at the finance department, $3,000. Then the electrical department is capital outlay between 500 and 5,000, it's a blower, high voltage floor mat, shelves for electrical storage room, and electrical knives, which is $5,500. Total capital outlay is $338,000, and then above 5,000, and then between 500 and 5,000 is 45,500. Any questions on revenue coming in? If you want to check each one, we can go through each one.
I want to go back to page 5,
Page 5.
if possible.
Okay, here we are.
This was put together and discussed by the budget committee, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Who's on the budget committee?
Mr. Scott Friedman and Mr. Rudy Garcia. And then myself, Charles, Belen, and Victor.
Okay. How did you come up with the $8 million projected revenue?
Well, we just came up with last year's budget, previous year's budget, and made an average on it. So.
Okay. When last year's budget projected revenues was?
What is it, on the?
We went down, previous years, about 3%.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, because the revenues were actually lower this year, so they
It was
based,
lower than
they based the revenue,
2012.
yeah, on that.
And what was the shortage for this fiscal year as far as revenues?
That one will be on the amendment.
On the amendment, but we don't have any insurance right now until we finalize the adjustment.
Should be after October 1st, right? And what the revenues come in, I think the last payments come in October 10th, between 10th and the 15th.
Well, based on the financials I read that we're going to discuss on Wednesday, we were $723,000 short with an annual budget of $8.2 million. If you subtract the 700 from the 8.2, you're getting $7.5 million, and I'm just wondering why we're at $8 million when we're all, this year, fiscal year, we're only anticipating 7.5. I'm just wondering where the other $500,000 are going to come from.
Well, on this one, we're anticipating that hopefully that the rate study and gets completed, and it could go up. But we're just hoping on that part. That
We can't, when we do budgets, we can't hope. We gotta, go with solid numbers, I would think.
that's something that's still down the line. We haven't approved it yet. The board hadn't approved any rate increases. I'm just kinda concerned about the $8 million.
Well, we turned down a raise increase, let's put it that way.
Yeah, and there was a rate increase turned down already by the board, so. I'm just concerned that the $8 million, if there's no rate increase, and we've only collected this fiscal year, we're anticipating about $7.5 million. Just wondering why we're at $8 million. We need to be a little more conservative on our budget, yeah. That's just my one board
But I
member's
mean,
opinion.
that's the way we should really go, you know, we're kinda looking ahead and hoping that, you know, we have to cut along the line as we go, make a budget amendment like, after 6 months.
When is the last monies coming in? Because you based the budget on that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but through 11 months, we're $723,000 short, based on the financials that we're gonna be talking about, so just a question.
So we, like I said, we talked about it, and we should get in mind that if we do need to go down, we'll make a budget amendment on it and work with what we have.
It's always easier to work up instead of cutting things.
That's true. Okay, any other questions on that?
Revenue. I got some questions on 17 though. Does anybody else have any questions? Am I the only one gonna ask questions?
So we are conserving also water all this year, so that's why our revenue went down.
Oh, yes, we
So hopefully we get more rain.
We're always hoping for a lot of things, but.
Well, if we get more rain, we sell less water. Yeah.
Now we need the rain
No.
up in the watershed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we can get,
Drought.
so we can get our water rights
We
back.
get more revenue.
There's a lot of factors that are involved, and we took our sweet time and really worked hard on the budget, hoping that everything is in order and try to do our best, so that's the best we could do. So, page 17?
17, yeah.
Oh, yes, sir.
This is proposed budget, huh?
Right.
Wow. You can alleviate things by when you're going downstream, you know, you can cut or you can add, depending what kind of revenue you're getting, whatever, you know.
So it's what we've been doing this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was it last year or the year before? Didn't we get a trailer? Was it a gooseneck or just a regular big trailer?
What was it, Jordan?
We didn't get anything.
We got it taken off.
Okay, I remember you had something in there was it last year or something?
Yeah, 308 excavator.
Okay.
We're supposed to purchase a trailer with it, so we could pull it with one of the
And this is
units.
gonna be the one?
Yes, sir.
All right, beautiful. I got a dumb question. What's a jetter truck?
Jitter. It's like a smaller version of a vacuum truck, but it jets.
It's just
The bigger vacuum trucks that we have a jetter installed in them, and then the suction also like a vacuum truck. But the jetter is just a jetter where it flushes lines. The jetter is a smaller version of the big vacuum trucks.
doesn't have
Doesn't have the vacuum on
No,
it?
It's
vacuum,
just
right.
gonna flush.
Just flush, but the one that we have existing now is unit 29,
29.
and it's already like how many years?
20 years already?
20 years already, and
It's a back jetter?
No, it's a jetter.
Oh, we have the whole jetter. Ah, okay.
We're just replacing.
The reason we picked a smaller version because the lines here in Portisville are clay lines. You put the big jetter and break the lines and send it
Oh, wow.
home.
Yeah, it's mainly where we use the small dig truck that's here in Port Isabel, because of the
Okay.
shallower lines and the clay lines.
Eventually it'll pay for itself.
Yeah, yeah.
Are used very often.
I know we had a vacuum truck. I didn't know if we had a jetter, I didn't know what the jetter truck was. All right, the truck for the office, or the van. I mean, what do we need a van for? Can't we just get by with a 4-door economical vehicle
Well,
for the office?
the reason we got the van is because when board members like to take a site visit, if there's quite a few, like maybe 2, 3 plus employees, staff, we kind of like to have that van, and then when it rains, I think Ms. Lupe uses it to go to take the mail every day. If it rains or it's cold, it's a comfortable, bigger trunk.
Also,
Safer.
it's gonna be used like when they go to school,
Yeah.
instead of taking 2 or 3 different trucks,
they can all ride in one van, or the association teams as well.
That's,
I
that's.
don't know, he did not let you do that, but.
What size?
I mean, how often do we have more than 4 people in the vehicle?
When they go to school and when they go to places like that, seminars and things like that, you know.
Not-
Otherwise, you
really
take
that
How
someone
big of a
else.
van is it?
Once a
It's
month,
not-
twice a
it's not
month, or what?
It's not
Or is it a minivan?
big van.
Three times a month.
How many, how many
It's just a-
passengers? How many?
9 passengers.
9 passengers.
Eight passengers.
So the van's gonna be what type of van? Do we know yet?
No, we don't know
Chevy.
what brand.
Chevy, right?
Yeah.
Chevy.
Chevy?
Yeah, it's already been ordered at, when we passed it the last budget, it's a Chevy, Astrovan.
Oh, they don't make Astros
not
anymore.
Astro.
No, not Astrovan, no.
It's like a big,
Yeah.
Cargo
big
van.
passenger,
like you see
yeah.
from Boys and Girls Club, that type of van, or no?
No,
Not that big?
No, not that big.
No, it's a eight
Not
passenger.
that big.
The Chevy Express or smaller?
Probably.
So we've already spent the
A
28,000,
little bit
right?
bigger than that one.
So it's already been ordered, so
What are
it's
you
like,
talking about?
yeah, it's already been ordered, forget it then, right?
Yep.
All right.
Probably, the information you wanted to know, right? That's why, we're discussing it, the size. I think it's just a little bigger than the old one that we have, Astrovan, a little bigger. Just a
The
little
one
bit.
that we used to have?
Yeah.
Oh, we
The
still
What are you
have
doing
it?
with
electric
it?
department has
Still
it.
have it.
For the camera.
What are you doing with the old vehicle? You gonna auction them?
Yeah, we're gonna have to do that because they're in bad, shape, corrosion on the bottom, so we'll bring all that information at a later date.
Carlos, I got a question on this generator. What size is it?
Charles, what size is that, like, is that for something
What
for the
size
size
is
of
it?
this?
How much can it go for the building? Are you gonna have just your computers and things like that lightning working? Because you also, to have that, you also have to have your ACs working, you know?
But
But
no,
something that's worth 40,000 is not big enough to do the job.
Well, they did the study on it, and,
What's the functioning, you know?
I don't know exactly the size, but I don't remember, they did give us, some paperwork, and, it includes the
Yeah.
AC and everything that's in the bottom, and we try to get that big generator from the water plant, to move it
Yeah.
over here, and it's too big, you know, it's
Yeah.
just not.
Yeah.
I understand.
No, no, when half took their preliminary look, they were basically saying a new generator to cover the full load of this building is about 25,000.
I know. But the thing is, you don't want to undersize, you know? Because eventually, you won't have enough power if you undersize just to save maybe $2,000 or $3,000. Yeah, in the long run, you're not saving when you undersize because you say, hey, it's cheaper, you don't have enough wattage, but we can do with this and we can do with that, and without this, or you don't want to undersize. And I thought $40,000 was.
Well, actually, the
Yeah.
proposal was 25 to 29.
Well, 25 is a generator, but then you still need the transfer
But
switch and
everything
whatever
else,
electrical
right.
service
Right, so-
improvements you
But
can
it
add.
is, it should be,
Better run one.
You're talking
should
about
be-
the generator, but then you got to add a transfer switch and then the safety switch and all kinds of.
but, it was sized for everything, you know, AC and.
This one, I thought it's kind of cheap, $40,000.
I thought it was expensive.
What it is.
Everything included, right? But
No, well, we haven't even looked at it in that much detail. We just know just for this load, the generator by itself is 25 grand plus the transfer switch.
What's the matter with the one that you have now?
We don't have one. Here's office, we don't have one. Every time the power goes off, everybody's
Everything
waiting,
goes
like,
up,
we don't
right.
know. So we need to look, to the future and make sure that we do have it. And the one that we're gonna utilize from the water plant is just too big. And so, we have to use that one somewhere else. Any other questions?
And the reason I'm saying that, Carlos, is because nothing is getting cheaper. You know, every time you look around, everything is getting more expensive. The sooner you get it, I mean, you're saving money right there. But
You paid for that the first month, buddy.
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's all we have for the,
Yeah,
we added
the
some more
proposal,
information
yeah.
in the back, you know, if y'all wanna go through it or not,
I looked through it pretty good.
so.
I saw Charles's improvement plan.
Oh, yeah, it's all back through that 5-year together.
Yeah.
It's like,
I do have a question on that.
mhm.
Okay.
Is it 25? Yeah, starting on 25, he's got his wish list. Christmas.
Well, I mean, I'm sure stuff is gonna go beyond 5 years.
Christmas
Yeah,
come,
so-
Christmas,
Yeah.
Christmas come early, huh?
We call the
Three-page
wish
wish
list.
list. Well, this is 3 pages only,
Yeah.
right?
Charles, out of all this stuff we have on here,
Mhm.
can you, I'm gonna put some stars next to it, but on all the stuff we have on here, what are the items that are gonna make the district more efficient? As far as saving money, you know, I mean, all the electricity costs, all that kind of information. I think those are the first ones that we should probably try to tackle.
Well, yeah, I guess, from the efficiency standpoint,
Yeah,
I mean, we're looking at, I suppose it's gonna be the blowers, and rehabbing the air piping.
so
Like-
nothing under the water projects, more under the wastewater, or?
Well, more
The water also, if we.
well, like
the
at
high
water,
surge pumps.
yeah, I mean, I suppose, I mean, I didn't really put energy efficiency projects on the water plant side. Like, for example, the clarifier array replacement, I mean, we just
Okay,
rebuilt it ourselves.
where's
Oh,
that?
on item number 2, clarifier array replacement.
All right,
I mean, that one, we just finished the rehab on it, so that should buy us about 5 years or so.
mhm.
So, I mean, in reality, that might get pushed out, you know, to 2020 or 2021, but in that time frame, more or less, we're gonna have to look at replacing that clarifier.
But that's energy,
And that's more to maintain the existing capacity.
okay. I'm looking at more like efficient,
No,
No,
for the
energy-
the high
energy
surge
side,
pumps, you know, other pumps that, when you buy new ones, they've been there like 28 years.
right.
We just.
I'm just wondering which items, so I can put stars next to them.
Okay, I can mention that, the high surge pump, when you replace a pump, number 4,
Number 4?
yes, and,
Yeah, that's
also number 3,
Number 3?
there's number 5. You know,
Five.
when you purchase new,
Open
they're
pumps,
more
right?
efficient now than before, and,
Sure.
we've had them over 28 years, you know, so.
Okay.
They've been good that we haven't been purchasing, but the electricity is high. The long run, we think,
¿Qué más? What else?
okay. Charles,
I mean,
what,
number 7 is another pump replacement for the backwash waste discharge pump.
7 and 8 both?
those are huge
Yeah.
pumps, you know, all the pumps that we're talking here is large, you know, like 75 horsepower to about 100 horsepower.
Mm-hmm.
So they should save electricity. And of course, the rehabilitation of every 2-3 years that we've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for the water plant too, our water pump station, was that changing out the three existing pumps, or is it just the valves, or both?
No, changing out the existing pump.
Yeah, so number 10, that's another efficiency improvement, that water plant 2 raw water pump station we had.
Okay.
And then, let's see, would the vacuum regulators help at water plant 2 with efficiency?
No,
No, that's
just for
that's-
cooling fee.
Okay. Number 12 is really an efficiency issue, because it's doing leak detection at the pipeline from Reservoir 40 Cuatro substation.
Right.
And then, rather than replace the whole line, if we find spots that have real bad leak problems, we can just limit our improvements to whatever sections we identify through leak detection. And that would help with our water loss on number 12. And number 13, I mean, this is from that hydraulic optimization study that RPS has put in there. I think right now we're putting in a butterfly pump rather than doing the recommended improvements, you know, for the efficiency on those, at the river pump station. But then, you know, why, this is the same spot where Whitey's thinking that we just need to go in there and
Clean
clean.
the sump, for God's
Oh.
sake.
I mean,
We've
over
been
there,
talking about this for 2 years.
The river,
yeah, at the river pump station.
because I know we went in there and we hired somebody to clean
Intake.
it's been like twice already we've done it
Okay.
throughout the years. And we said again,
But it's the same thing, when we try to run 2 pumps, it'll produce less flow than just running 1 pump?
You don't wanna run 2 pumps at the river.
no,
Oh, okay.
Because one
we
is
just run
probably
one,
very deep.
but the actual entrance, it gets full of silt and every so often you gotta clean it so water can go in.
Mario, is that something we should have continuing maintenance on? I mean,
Mhm.
once a year, once every 2 years, or what?
Every
No.
2 to, no,
On that one, I think it's like every 5 years or
Mhm.
more.
To clean out the
Yeah.
crap?
so-
No.
that's kind of what about.
And usually you see like now
It's
that,
been clean since
When was the last time, Mario?
It's almost been about 5 years ago.
So, maybe that should have been on the budget, is there?
well, what happens is that now that the river's low, you see the
Oh, I
signs
know,
everywhere,
see it.
even on the sides of the
Yeah.
banks. You know, that's why you see it more, but it hasn't been a hindrance of any kind yet.
Okay.
Usually is a check valves and plug up.
Yeah, but item number 14, that's the transfer pump station at Reservoir 3 that pumps the water over here to Reservoir 1. And so that would be an efficiency improvement, and we'd be going, probably forgetting that vacuum prime pumps and getting self-priming pumps, and then maybe newer and more efficient than what we have out there today. And then, let's see, what's the next one? Yeah, well, the water distribution is all just completing loops or trying to eliminate a lot of our dead ends.
Okay.
And then that's basically it for the efficiency side. On the water side, we already.
Where is the transfer pump station, number 14?
It's at water plant 2. When you drive up to the entrance, it's that first pump station on the left corner of the reservoir.
And that's for water plant 1?
Yeah, it's to deliver water to water plant 1. Here in Port
Okay.
It transfers water from the reservoir there to
Yeah.
reservoir 1.
And how, how often are we using one right now? It was last year.
When the water plant 1 is on, we turn it on every 3 days.
We do?
That's the one that we've been talking about, that when you stop this plant during the winter time, that you don't have any water coming back this way through the raw water lines. That's the one.
Wastewater?
Yeah, wastewater. Of course, the first item, 24, which is add one blower and replace the existing blowers at the Annie sewer plant. And we have the air piping, that's mainly efficiency there. The other one's just some maintenance needs. I think the grit removal system, item number 28, that would probably have a whole lot of maintenance reduction. Because the sand is tearing up everything, and that would extend the life of the entire plant, really, if we get that one on there.
Okay.
And then if we going over to Isla Blanca, item number 30 is the new headworks for grit removal. It's basically the same issue. And, maintain our volume and just do everything to benefit the plant. Number 31 is upgrade the existing blowers and repair the piping at Isla Blanca. So that's another energy efficiency one. 32 is replacing the gauge at the aeration basin. That's the one where I have to rebid. I have it for next fiscal year. Item 3, clarifier 3, replacement of the effluent trough. Again, we're just doing the rebid on that one. Actually, I just got that quote yesterday for the material. It was $109,000. And so, and then that would just basically be a purchase for the materials, and we'd be doing the labor ourselves. So, hopefully we can get that one done pretty quick.
Let me ask you something on the grit removal. You're talking about grit removal systems, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you do a grit removal system, that's going to prevent from grit from the situation that's happened now. It's going to prevent that. We won't see that anymore.
Right, like our aeration basin, at Isla Blanca, for example, is 14 feet deep, and I would say 10 to 12 in
Yeah,
some
I know.
spots.
So you're supposed to get some pictures.
Oh yeah, I think they're on the tail end of.
Okay, I'll look at those later. But
Yeah.
okay, so that if we do the grit, we won't have that situation anymore.
Yeah, it should be blocking the mop heads and all the other problem stuff that people just put in.
Okay.
See that one, the guy standing on it is 14 feet deep. And
He's not 14 feet tall, is he?
No.
Maybe a boot. No.
Yeah, so that's the stuff. Of course, for the new headworks that basically all 3 sewer plants, Port Isabel, Isla Blanca, and Annie Buoy, is really unfunded at this point. But that's kind of leading to wastewater treatment fund issue, maybe. It's a good idea to get all that funded. But anyways, as far as moving over to Port Isabel, this is really a lot of it's the one that says capacity water is the reclamation side of it that was presented to by Corollo in the last board meeting, which is item 38, water reclamation facility.
Yeah, I have a question. That's $767,000. What is that?
That's the estimated engineering fee for design phase and the
That's
rest
what I thought.
of the preliminary quote.
So that's that's just engineering, that's not
No, the
actual
the-
work being done.
Yeah, the 1.5, 4.5, and 1.1, that's when we actually get into construction phase.
Okay,
And that's how I, timed it out, presuming, because they're gonna probably be coming in November requesting to proceed with design. And so that's kind of where it's sitting right now.
okay. And as far as your priorities go, I'm assuming, I hope I'm assuming correctly, but the things that need to be done immediately, I would assume you have under 2014, 2015.
Right.
correct?
Right, I mean, I kind of listed them, the stuff that's sort of lower on our list are in further years. And so as this real funding comes in, we have to adjust things, we'll kind of keep things in the same order.
But there's not something, I mean, there might be something that pops up down that you might have for 2017 and 2018 that breaks or something, and we gotta bump it up, correct?
Well, yeah, that's always
We just
possible.
never know, right?
Right,
Okay.
right, but I mean, I just, like, the reason why, for example, the water plant one clarifier, I put it on the 5th year, is because we just did the rehab, we just barely finished it a week ago. Or this today, really,
Well, actually, we finished on, by Friday, we had already painted the clarifier. We're just
Right.
waiting for the paint to dry
Cool.
and the operators to
In-house,
work.
yeah.
We just bought the material and saved a lot of money doing that.
right, so our in-house work probably about us 5-6 years before an outright
Mhm.
replacement.
We're gonna do another clarifier?
Well, no, it'd be a rebuild, probably to keep the same with concrete or the exterior and just rebuild on the inside.
That's on the wastewater side now.
No, that was water plant one.
That was water one, right?
Well, the clarifier 3 to the bond is basically in the same condition, and
No,
we're
no,
fixing the effluent trough right now. And then I think it's the same plan where if we can get our maintenance crew that's been working, just to start replacing the rake and everything.
Hey, let me ask you something, these problems we've been having with the clarifiers and stuff out at the island and stuff, the wastewater plants, is it because of lack of maintenance on our part? Or is it because it's the conditions, or we have improper equipment there, like we don't have a grit removal system?
That's what it is mostly, like.
Grit removal and also the material that they use, like galvanized, they use stainless steel.
So we've been cheap on some of our stuff instead of going top of the line, right?
But at the same time, we're talking about a 15, 20-year-old clarifier, so.
Right,
yeah.
And it's
And then
starting-
also that clarifier, like Aretha Blanca, it's only usually from, like, the way the water plant is, from March
Seasonal.
to September, and then it shut down the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Nine of flow.
Yeah. And you've been in charge for how long now?
6 months.
About 6 months?
Yeah.
Okay. I know none of this is your problem, I mean, it's stuff you inherited.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that clarifier
Yeah.
that did not
They're doing a good job now with the
I know.
SDC fund.
That's
I
the
know.
one that would have wrong with, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what that
all
money's
kinds
there
of
for.
repair.
That's the
Well,
one we
And the
had.
water plant too,
Yes,
SDC
What
fund.
was wrong with it? At first you wouldn't equalize with the other ones.
Oh, after they make the improvement,
Clarifiers
yeah.
on parallel, they should equalize. That
Yeah.
was,
Yeah, well, the thing was that after they make the improvements to 1 and 2, I guess it kind of threw off 3, so it's just, they gotta regulate the gates a little bit more, and it should work.
down
Yeah,
on the years or what?
push them down.
All these in-house jobs that you guys are doing that are saving the district money, you keep a record of how much, you save the district, so that at the end of the year, during evaluations or whatever the case, you can use that or have that in file, or just for information for the board.
Yes, they're keeping all the funding separated, when they purchase material for the SDC, from the SDC to each department, they have an account.
That's
Am I correct on that?
That's a good question, Drew, because some people are not getting credit for what they do, They always tell us how much we spend, but we don't know how much you guys save.
Well, you know that could, you know, it's their job, but.
We don't know that you guys are really saving money on the other side, and I should like to know that,
Well, Robert, we can rectify that, and once a month, have all the supervisors, department heads, just give us a report.
Yeah,
We got 2 meetings a month,
Simple one.
get you one time, just come on in, give us a report of what's been going on, how many valves have been replaced this month, I don't know. I don't know stuff, the board doesn't know stuff like that, how much money we've been saving, like Rudy was saying. So it'd be nice to have our department heads and supervisors at least once a month,
They save money, and we know.
And you have the technology to document it now, you get on the
Yeah.
computer and
Yeah.
get a spreadsheet and do a
These
spreadsheet.
questions
Meeting-
where
meeting once a
us
month.
board members get
You can
answers
show it
out
too.
there in real life.
Tell us how it's going.
how much you spending, as I said. You saving too, you're saving money at the same time, you know, but
When, when Memo was general manager, I remember we got a bunch of,
Weekly
we got a bunch of information. There was just 3 or 4 pages. I mean, you know, this guy was doing this guy was doing this guy was doing this. It was like, man, it was a little too much, I think, but, I mean, we knew everything was going on when he was, you know.
Well, the same thing that all those reports, that's what they're doing, but they're not
We're not.
compiling the reports. We'll start getting a small spreadsheet, you know, at least from.
Yeah, maybe one meeting, the first meeting of the month, you can have a couple of them show up, and then the next meeting have a couple.
They're all trained to do Excel? You all know to
Everybody
use
knows
Excel?
Excel.
Oh, yeah, everybody's
Well.
computer literate here.
And another
Good.
thing I'd like to do, I'd like to congratulate you. Very nice.
Thank you very much.
This is very nice, I like to do, but there's only one thing I would like to see, is last year's, alongside it. The previous year's budget alongside it, so we can compare it. That was, other than that, it was pretty nice.
Like you said, she's been on the board like 3 weeks.
That's long enough. That's long enough.
But anyway, that's nice.
And then a lot of the lift stations, were identified in the wastewater hydraulic modeling, and that's why that number is so big, just because of, you know, if we rebuild them the way we did lift station 19, it gets pretty expensive. So basically, the first thing I was proposing on the lift station, or even wastewater collection in general, is to start our flow monitoring. And with that, we can really refine our model and, you know, make sure it's more accurate before we start doing design work based on the
Okay, so
model.
incorporate the flow monitoring into the hydraulic model?
Well,
Is that what
yeah,
you're talking about?
because item 61 is flow monitoring, and all it is data collection for 6 months to a year, if not longer. And with that, we can revise our values for the peak flows and, you know, kind of better estimate what our lift stations need to be sized at,
Okay.
basically. So let's see, did we skip over anything? Yeah, I guess for the energy efficiency, we already covered the, in the Portisville, you know, it's items 36, 37, 38 are all basically what Corollo had pointed out in the immediate terms and near terms. The long term, which would basically be the third clarifier, I don't even have it on the 5-year plan. That's beyond what we're dealing with here. So, I guess, and then on the collection side, I did put that lift station 11 force main upgrade in the 5th year of our CIP plan. I jumped over to the 3rd page. Item
56?
Yeah, item 56. It's lift station 11 force main upgrade, and that's part of what Corollo's scope of work is including in terms of their cost estimates. And we put that one in the near term mainly because it'll help deal with the capacity issue at lift station 11 when it rains, and then also, you know,
we're gonna-
collapsing too, aren't they?
Are we gonna send more water to the plant? We need to fix the plant also.
well, yeah, the plant needs to go first. That's why I have it way in.
Yeah.
It's a combination of both.
The horse goes first, and the
You
cart.
gotta start downstream and work your way out.
It used to be when that plant had a wet well bottom, you know, remember? Now they forced it up.
Yeah, and of course the headworks and adding those splitter boxes and stuff, that'll help. The thing is, if we build the digesters today and convert the existing digester to aeration, the aeration would already be at a 2 MGD capacity, so that could probably help with our 2-hour peak and everything else. And the clarifiers are the ones that are limited to 1.1 today, which we don't see a need to go up to 2.0, you know, for a long time.
Carlos, I forgot to ask on the budget. There's it's hard to tell, but there's no. I mean, we're not adding any more personnel, are we?
No.
Okay. Because we've got a lot of people here that work their butts off, and then you know there's those few that aren't pulling their weight. And so, you know,
Well, the only thing that there's a couple of guys that just left. Oh, well, they leave the district, we got good benefits and everything, but one of his employees left, and then collection, but it's in the budget. That one's in the budget.
They're replacing
They're
the-
normal,
we're replacing, we're
regular
not adding.
employees.
How many employees do we have out?
I don't even think we need to replace employees, to be honest with you.
Oh, I don't know. Do you know how many people are
many employees do we have out there hurt there?
Right now, one,
One?
that, they heard it, Johnny Holland.
Johnny Holland.
But he came by last week, and this past week, and he slimmed down, he lost a lot of weight, so he's been doing better on his ankle.
How long has he been out?
Like
They did
two
Three?
months,
going on 3.
going 3 months,
Give over.
Really?
What do you do?
Simple ankle,
He
getting off
fractured his
the,
ankle getting off that jetter truck. He stepped out and there was a big old rock, blacktop, piece of blacktop. When he stepped and then his weight, it just
terrible.
cracked his ankle.
Well, it doesn't have to be necessary.
But, no, that's,
Yeah, no, but when
It has to be that long time ago. Another question I got, I hate to go back, what is that generator gonna be fueled with?
Oh, this generator?
so we're thinking of
Hopefully
using,
it be natural gas.
yeah, that's what we're
cheapest.
hoping, because it's back there,
Natural gas is cheapest and it'll always be there.
Yeah. You don't have to be filling in with diesel, and, I think diesel is more dangerous, because, you know,
Yeah.
lightning or.
We're at the point where we can just spec out natural gas and.
Probably,
It's cleaner.
speed, I don't know, what can happen back there.
Nah, they get valves that shut
No,
off.
I'm talking about diesel, if we use diesel, there'll probably be somebody out there like.
Oh, there'll be, yeah.
Looking at natural gas, so.
Just don't put any copper back
Natural
there.
gas is more efficient, more cleaner and more cheaper.
And it's readily available right there,
Yes.
always.
Over there in that alley.
Any other questions?
No.
Okay, we're, going to,
Mr. Chairman?
Yes,
All right.
Item 4, consider and discuss the schedule of accelerated monies from the approved resolution for the district's ad valorem taxes for the year 2014.
okay. There's, some information. Where is it?
Page 19? 19 on the budget?
Oh, 19?
19 on the budget? Would that cover it? I think that would cover it. That's debt service, right?
Oh, yeah, that's what it is. But, as we were in process of, also, I'm gonna make the board aware, as the last bit I had from, we're talking to, Adrian Galvan from, Estrada and Jose, trying to do some paperwork for us and trying to figure things out, and he hasn't provided all the information, because, Noel Valdez wasn't available. So, we're gonna try to get the information on Monday, and the thing that we discussed is, like, I sent him all the paperwork on the resolution where we excel the bond payments. So he gave me a whole bunch of numbers, okay, let me work this out, and then finally yesterday in the afternoon, like late, he says, you know what, I can't get a hold of Noel Valdez, and, he's the one that can provide me with the attorney's, legal information, how we can go about it, so there might be, hopefully that he can get a hold of him by Monday and, give us some information back. But if anything worse to worse, he mentioned that we may have to go back and lower the tax rate because, if there's no way to accelerate the payments, we just have to do it.
So it's not,
We can accelerate the payment.
so this is not like when you buy a car and you try to make, or you have a mortgage and you
Right.
try to accelerate your payments, you get no penalty. So this is not like that, obviously.
It would basically be a refinance.
Either refinancing and you can do that like every 10 years, and I believe that 2005 already is coming up in 2015. So
What kind of interest
The-
rate?
I thought after so many years,
Mhm.
the bond covenants, after so many years, it allows you to accelerate.
right,
I
believe
don't know how
after
many
10
years.
I think it's 10 years. 'Cause I was talking to him yesterday, and I think it's every 10 years. So 2005 is coming up in 2015. So
Yeah.
we may have.
Alright, so
time
the board was told in March, I believe, of 2015 that we can go ahead pay off those,
See,
those
Okay.
2005, and I think it was like 500 grand.
565,000.
That was 565, and so we're
And
gonna,
it's in there.
we're gonna have that, right? I mean, we'll have that money to do that.
Oh, yes, yes, oh, yeah, it'll be available.
Right.
The only thing is that we can't, have extra.
Because based on page 19, you know, we've got, there's $1.4 million left over. That bottom line, is that correct?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Of tax money.
And we can use for the 2005 to pay off, and
So-
also part of the 2012, right? That's what we were talking about.
Well, we don't know if they
No,
can
no,
accelerate
I don't know
that.
about 2012, because it's just been like 3 years maybe.
So, I mean, if
2005, yes.
we take the 560 off of that, we're still gonna have about 900 grand
Yeah, and that's where we
sitting
are.
there, so.
So we may have to make some adjustments on that. But, as soon as he, gets a hold of me Monday, and we might even, if we can't go that route where we can accelerate those payments until maybe, next year,
Okay.
we might have to go down some.
Well, what we probably wanna do is leave this in the kitty, the extra money in the kitty, and then next year, you know, go down to adjust for that, instead of, I
I'll
don't,
ask him all those.
going
questions that I
retroactive
know.
on property taxes would not be good. You wouldn't wanna write a bunch of refund checks, would you?
No.
No. Well, he's gonna give me all the legal stuff on
Okay.
Monday, hopefully Monday early.
Right.
And like I said, if anything, the worst that we can do is have an emergency meeting and, have the resolution, an addendum to it, you know, so we have to go down. But I'll find out all the information Monday,
Okay, find out from Noe Valdez, right?
or Noel Valdez, yeah.
Alright,
And Adrian too, because they work together.
okay, and then you might, I mean, if there is an issue that we have to, by law, go down, you guys need to get with the county, correct?
Right.
About the tax, yeah, see about, or the appraisal district, whatever, whoever handles
And the
that.
Cámara también.
But even before they call you in the morning, first thing you can call the bond council, because that's who they're
That's
waiting.
Noe
Right.
Valdez, yeah.
Yeah, no, but.
Oh, is it the bond council?
That's Noe Valdez.
Right.
Oh,
No, definitely. Bond council.
Alright, guys,
Attorneys.
good, keep working on it, man.
Okay.
Good job.
Okay, now, going on.
Water heater.
That's
Next
fine.
item.
Next item, Mr. Chairman.
Ready to move? Move. 5, consider and discuss the district's personnel policy.
Okay, we, been, looking at it as a committee with all the managers, especially Mimi, Joel, everybody was available. Victor, Delaney, and myself. And thank you all for all the work. But, we did come up with some, information that was needed updating. And on the resolution, is there a resolution in there?
No,
It was in the packet for next, it was in the packet for Wednesday.
Okay, yeah, it's in the packet for Wednesday, but let me go, I didn't bring it, right? Well,
I read it.
well, I needed just to discuss the changes.
There was three things in there, wasn't there?
There's like 6, actually.
Oh, 6?
Oh, you can put it up there? Okay, it's gonna go up there. Well, well, as I can remember, page 6 on chapter 3. On, section 304, really, I don't have any. Would you can put it on page 6, please? That's what I can remember. It's, on the residency, it says some key personnel that are needed in an emergency situation must live within the boundaries of the district. And, it had, you know, they have to live within the district boundaries. But, there's, so many, managers and staff administration that live out of the district boundary. And so we added, or You know, they have to live in the district boundaries or respond between 20, 30 minutes of an emergency situation. Which I believe the managers that are on standby, there's a couple of them that live out of Fresno areas. So, but they do make it like within 15, 20 minutes to respond. So I wanted to see if the board would agree to that, you know, that not necessarily that they have to live within the district boundary, because we do have also, not just managers, but the employees that live, that are on standby. Some in Brownsville, some in Los Fresnos. So we could, mention that if they have to
Well-
respond between 20 and 30 minutes. And then
I don't know if 20 and 30 minutes is
15.
enough time. I mean, you don't want somebody driving 80, 90, 80 miles an hour or whatever, and then have an accident. And say, well, I had an accident
Right.
because I was going over the speed limit and blah 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 because policy dictates that I need to be there. I think,
Within the hour, maybe?
well, I don't know if
I
it's
don't
within the
know,
hour
because
or
what
what,
is,
but
you can ask,
thank you. They should have other key personnel ready to respond until the others are able, to get here. I'm sure they'll get here as soon as they can, and they'll try their best to get here. But you're the general manager. You pick up the phone and you call, whoever you need to call is within the district. That is here. Get over there right now, and
Until
where he lives in Los
so
Fresnos.
and so gets here.
Yeah, if he lives in Los Fresnos or he lives, wherever they live, they're en route in, go over there and cover and take care of the situation, and then they're on their way, because,
Usually, like my procedure is, I get a call out, I'll call the customer myself, what's the situation? And okay, I deem that I need to go out there, okay, I'm on my way. And if it's a situation where it needs somebody's immediate attention, I'll call the guys that stand by with me, and then, because we know who's on standby with us for the most part. And so we let them know, okay, take off that way. Let's say, for example, it's through a backup. Regardless if it's a private problem or our problem, we usually flush out the main line anyway. So we get him going already as well.
yeah, because, okay, they live in Los Fresnos, but they're not gonna be in their house 24/7. That day, they may be in Mercedes or McAllen doing something, and then there's no way they're gonna get here within 30 minutes. Just have somebody, have other key personnel respond.
Well, when they're on
Normally-
standby, they don't go out of
Right,
town.
exactly.
Yeah, when they're on
When they're
standby, they don't go out of
normally
town,
don't
right?
go out.
They
Normally,
don't.
this year, normally.
Like a
is-
doctor.
Yeah, but this doesn't
Yeah,
call,
normally
this
no.
doesn't refer to standby. This just
No.
says, an
Right,
emergency
this
case.
is like an emergency, like,
Something that-
there's something like
Yeah.
electrical components that
I would
they
say,
found at the
like,
wastewater plant.
I don't think it would be fair for a guy not to leave his house, that's because it's a standby. It happened to me when I was, he can go to McAllen, wherever he wants, and he knows it's on standby. But he should, as manager, they're the ones that are on standby. They should have a personnel ready to respond if he gets called. Like let's say Mr. Lopez there, he knows he's going to call, tells you, so I'll probably be somewhere, we get a call, you respond, and I'll be there right after, right with you.
Right.
Like you said, like Mr., like Willie said, he's gonna come here 80 miles an hour, he'll never get here. And probably have do some damage on the way coming here, but he has somebody to respond, and then he comes to take over. Usually you have, it's not only you on standby or the managers, several other guys, huh?
Yeah.
One more guy. One more? So,
I mean,
it's hard to have somebody on standby and cannot leave the house. I think he's a prisoner, POW. I don't believe in that.
No, that's right, but the only thing that we had in this, 304 up there, if you see red, it didn't have respond between, it just said that they have to live here. And there's employees
Yeah.
that were living out of the area, so we need
The
to make
original
adjustments.
said
So-
you had to move into the district boundaries within 90
90
days.
days.
So
I
that's
don't
why
blame it,
we're
but-
trying to
So
change.
do you
I
want,
think-
do
I
you
think
want to
that was-
eliminate the 20 to 30 minutes, maybe
Yeah.
put it in an hour?
Yeah,
Okay.
an hour
Within the
or.
hour.
Because guys, has there been any problems?
No,
No.
no.
Have you had any problems with people
No.
not showing up?
No.
No.
Well then.
It was just that,
It's
they
just-
said that they had to
it's
move
just
into the
the
district.
It's just
We took
pretty-
that off.
All right,
You know, we
that's
took it
fine.
off.
I think the residency thing, I think it was mostly meant for the general manager, you know, and other rank and file people and stuff like that, you know.
Even Charles.
So we wanted to make adjustments on it, you know,
Yeah.
just to correct it because
Looking for
I know
property,
that,
Charles, what's that?
previous
Looking for
management wasn't
property.
given here, it never was touched.
That's fine. Maybe bump it up to 60 minutes or something.
Okay, 60 minutes, within 60 minutes.
Yeah.
Eventually, I gotta sell my house first.
Okay, and then, keep going. You didn't find the resolution? Oh, you did? Yeah, put it up there. That's where I can find everything. I think the next one is page 9, the next one, section 4.1. Yeah, 4 things. Okay, it's B,
There we go.
section 4.1, performance evaluation. We made some adjustments on that one where it says each regular water district employee's work performance shall be evaluated annually. And it had different verbiage in there that wasn't complying with our existing evaluation. So, and then we added from the date of hire.
On their anniversary
Yeah.
of employment.
And then and also including after any promotion or transfer. That wasn't in there.
So the date of transfer, the date of,
Exactly.
okay.
Yes. When you get transferred, then you start from that point on, again, one more
Right.
year.
So, Mr. General Manager, it's up to you to let the board know if we need to do any evaluations on you.
Not necessarily, with me,
I mean, has it been a year yet?
If I don't feel comfortable, I'll say something. No, but yes.
I think it's been a year, right?
Yeah, it's been a year.
All right. Now it's in the policy, we gotta do it.
Okay, anyway, provided on exhibit C of this policy, which is the evaluation form in the very back that we go through. Okay, then the other one is section 802.
I like that one.
Some
Fighting.
fighting, bullying, harassing. Yeah, no bullying in Laguna Madre.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, item on the, some infractions of major nature, we added 2 more things, on number 4, which is says fighting. It only had fighting, right? So we don't want that. But then again, no bullying or harassing, because nowadays it's more of that type of, infractions that, we just want to keep it.
My question on adding the bullying and harassing is, do you have the definition of those two spelled out in the policy? You need to have the definition spelled out for bullying and harassing, otherwise it's open to interpretation.
Yeah, it needs to be
That's
clear.
right, bullying comes in very different ways.
You need to have the definition.
We'll exhibit some, and then we put an exhibit.
Do an exhibit on it.
Yeah.
And fighting too, because it could
Fighting
be,
is not in the dictionary.
Maybe have a definition, maybe have a definition for fighting.
Okay, we put an exhibit on there. Okay, and then section 1103. Okay, that one's section 1103 on the exit interview for terminating employees. On the very bottom of the page, it mentions the termination checks will be given to the employees after the exit interview within the next 5 business days. So that is the normal procedure, and it didn't have it in there. It just mentioned that we'd give them a check, within the next 5 business days, provided on letter D of the section 1103 is met. So provided, the D is making sure that the employees turn in all their property, keys, uniforms, and everything.
Laptop, anything.
Anything that they have. So, And that's it? That was all, right? Okay. And it'll be on the resolution for the next board meeting.
Any other business?
I have one question, you know, all the way to health?
Health,
Yeah.
we didn't discuss any of that, but what do you have on health?
Well, remember that policy we did one time when we said that people over 20 years of service, we did a year
Yeah, the board approved that, is there?
30 years.
Mhm. It's in there.
It's in there? I
Yes,
didn't
sir.
see it.
Oh, it's in there.
Where is it?
The Cobra, it's on page 11.
I didn't see it.
It's the health insurance section 1204 or something.
I knew where it was, I couldn't see it.
Oh, you know what, I think that is this
20 years, you know.
Oh, they
They
didn't
sent
put
the
the right,
updated one.
yeah, we didn't get the right copy of this one, but it's in there.
It's in there.
Where, yeah, it's in there on section 1204. We had changed that one, but we got the wrong copy of this one. So we'll update it. We'll bring it to you and.
Yeah, no, I got another
But it's in
question,
there.
just passed me because my hearing is got flat sometimes. On that termination, would it be nice for the board to know when you're gonna terminate somebody before you, did the board be the last ones to know that somebody got terminated?
The board wants.
No.
That's what the board's for.
No.
We should know.
Think
No.
employees,
The board only hires four people, and if it's those four, is the ones we need to be concerned about. As far as, that's Carlos's job to handle the
I
termination.
know, he
That's,
terminates them, I know that.
that's his
But
job. We don't need to know
let
about
the board
it.
know before a reason for terminating them.
No,
No?
no.
Well, that's a good way, a lot, I wash my hands.
That's getting involved with day-to-day operations.
There's a lot of people getting involved anyway.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, but remember I mentioned to you, tell them to call me, because they don't know
Yeah.
what's going on, you know. I told them to tell them to call me, and that's all I can do right now.
Yep, that's fine.
Okay. That's it?
Other question?
Yes.
So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, if we have time. Yes, sir.
Well, on that, it's on the policy of like, what, 20 years and 30 years?
See, it's in there, but the copy's not
That's
here in
most
this one.
important.
We'll give you a copy of
But
it.
Halloween,
It
maybe
needs to
Halloween.
come, people spend a lifetime.
Clarifiers,
here,
Victor, Towel.
Yeah, this is the clarifier at Blanca. And
No.
as you can see the rates are already all, deteriorated.
The bottom is just water.
Yeah, that's just rainwater.
You don't have to
That's
look
just
at the bottom part, just the
But the
above the
rate-
water line.
That's actually the trough, and we're holding the trough with straps. If not, it'll just go down.
Wow.
Oh, and also, one other thing to point out is when we use the clarifier, the water's supposed to go over those weirs to the top.
Right.
Because of all the holes, the water comes from the bottom up and it never spills over the weirs.
That's not, holding it with straps is not TCQ violation, is it?
Yes, it is.
Well,
But,
yeah.
they're working on it now.
Well, we're
Yeah,
getting,
this
we're getting
is the
bids
one-
in for the
Yeah,
material.
I mean, I guess I have an outright quote versus, I don't know if we can just run with a quote or if we have to do sealed bids, because we're talking about the materials is 109,000.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
We need to spend a bunch of.
Can you bring those troughs down, lower them so they can,
Well, no,
Well,
I mean,
they're full of holes. They'll never go through the year.
Right.
The only thing what helps us out is, TCQ usually comes around October, November, and that's when it's shut down, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
They don't see it.
No, but it is
You take the straps off.
If they
Alright.
come and check it out, it's a violation.
Right.
So,
yeah.
If it's in service, it's a violation, if it's not, it's
Oh, okay.
off right now, so.
Let me just give you an example on the clarifiers at the water plant. It was, as a violation, it was written up, and, we had to comply and fix it. So instead of spending on a contractor to come do it, we did it and we did it within the time limit, so.
In the next couple following meetings, I have pictures of the clarifier.
Okay.
Yeah, do you know offhand how much we spend?
We still need some work to get done, but as far as just the clarifier alone,
about 20,000 in lieu of 130,000 they were gonna charge us to repair it.
Well,
That's
if we had,
on material.
if we brought an engineer
Well,
and
it's
involved, it would've
700,000.
been $500,000.
Yeah, but
We didn't have any